Hiya, everyone.
Hello, Internet.
Knock your audio down just a little. Yes, I didn't bother to do that. um, we don't have the intro because, as with one of the other resources, I don't remember where I had it last, so I get to go digging for that.
Oh, goody. Yes, folks,
Yeah.
this is the Gaming Saloon for August 28th, 2018. We're your hosts, Beastmaker2448 and Rapid Epsilon, and we have sort of a short show, to be honest.
I am going to point out one thing. While I have misplaced, I'm not saying lost because they're not lost. While I have misplaced the resources, this actually kind of pushed me to update some stuff. Case in point, if you now look below the TGS card there, you'll actually see what we're talking about now as well as what's coming up. If I don't forget to transition that properly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just gonna forewarn you folks. More than likely, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff on the back end of the podcast, not so much the front end. And one specific thing in particular. Because, oh boy, has a show decided to do a 180 on us from, oh, this looks cool and exciting, to fuck.
And what's bad is it also, at least to me, feels like it's retroactively caused certain problems in build so far. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Because doesn't it feel like they're, in all seriousness, kind of tiptoeing around what they should be doing?
A little bit. Like, there are problems in build. I don't think anyone can deny that now. And it's a lot of pacing issues. And I almost feel like we spun our wheels for the last few, I wouldn't say dozen, because I don't think it's that many, but the last few episodes with the Vault of just, we will not kill this motherfucker because we have no more villains. Like Utsumi, and Utsumi is not final bad guy material. I think Build had a problem. I think in the broader picture, Build has the problem of we don't have enough villains to fill the 49 episode quota.
Yeah.
And if we did, we blew them all too early.
Yeah, you're honestly right on that.
Because honestly, these last, I think, 5 episodes are more or less we need to end the show at 49. We have to meet that quota. So we have to draw out this conflict for just 4 more episodes, and then we'll be done. And then it will be over. Like, I don't hate Build. I still think it's a good show overall. It's got its fair share of issues, but I have seen worse out of this franchise. But before we talk about the other thing connected to it, Tommy, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I just actually today picked up the Octo expansion, Sonic Mania Plus stuff.
I saw you playing Octo Expansion.
It's honestly one of those that I kind of have been aiming to do both of them, but I just decided to go ahead.
Mm-hmm. But
Uh,
the point I hopped in on the stream was the point I was wanting to talk to you about something, but since you were not on mic for it, I was like, I will wait for the podcast. But there's a weird thing about Octo expansion everyone keeps misinterpreting for some stupid reason. I don't understand why. Like, okay, we have Agent 8, correct?
yep.
Everyone keeps thinking Marina and Pearl are 5 and 6. Even though Captain Cuttlefish just doesn't know who they are. At all. So they can't be agents. And the reason Agent 8 is Agent 8 is because Cuttlefish shorthand her subject number to Agent 8.
Okay, that part I'll give you. The other thing, though, that I'm going to mention, according to him, our inkling that Marie recruited isn't technically an agent then if we want to go that route.
Well, I'm saying Captain Cuttlefish doesn't know Marina and Pearl.
Captain
So-
Cuttlefish doesn't know the inkling that we play through the story mode with either.
Right. But neither one of them act like they're agents. At all. Or else they would have identified themselves as agents.
I
in this
give you that one
conversation.
too. But like I said, that's one of those kind of situations there where it's like, while yes, I see your point, there's nothing saying otherwise either.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this and going, why is everyone jumping the boat and saying that they're 5 and 6 when nothing in the game outright states that they are 5 and 6?
I feel like
nothing.
canonically that's probably the smartest option to go with until proven otherwise.
I feel like in a Splatoon 3 they will retroactively be called 5 and 6 because Captain Cuttlefish will go, "Oh, you helped me and Agent 8 out on that one thing. You want to join us? You want to be 5 and 6? Sure." And then your protagonist of Splatoon 3 can be 7. But until the game states otherwise, I wouldn't be so hard fast on calling them that just yet. Just putting it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Until they decide to make that a thing. But of course, at the same time, I'm going to say this. It's going to be a thing at this point.
Yes.
Case in point, Splatoon 2 was built around the final Splatfest.
Mm-hmm. So Splatoon 3 will probably be the same way with the final Splatfest as Splatoon 2, whenever that is.
Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, they've already done that once. I wouldn't think they'd try it a second time.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, I would kind of foresee us having not necessarily a straight expansion for it, but something similar to how the Octo expansion was done, but more focusing on maybe the company behind everything kind of deal.
Yeah.
Since we don't really get much out of that,
Mm-hmm.
might be one of those kind of deals where Captain Cuttlefish is like, yeah, maybe we need to look into that a little bit more.
Maybe we need to start looking into things to make sure that, there's no big giant super weapons hanging out in who knows where. Considering he has a veritable army of agents now, instead of just 3. So, have you gotten a chance to try out the new things for Sonic Mania?
Actually, until literally just now, I decided to go ahead and fire it up to see.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, not really. And so far, I'm just going through Encore mode.
Ah, I would think that's what most people who play through Sonic Mania are doing now. Which I don't think there's any new fancy end credits things for any of the new gameplay modes for Sonic Mania.
It didn't look like it.
I think the only thing you get is just a little scene with the 5 of them together, and that's it. Although Mighty and Ray do get their own individual, like Sonic Mania, or pose with title screens for their individual playthroughs. Anything else?
Not really.
Well, I have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and have been playing the hell out of it. I have a level 60 Linkle now, who's my highest level character, even above Link, who I have to play through the majority of Legend Mode and the Wind Waker stories for, and Linkle is still a higher level than him. It speaks to how good her fucking character is in combat. And also, I do have her level 4+ weapon, but I also have her level 3 weapon that's at a 200 additional damage over that dual element weapon.
Oh wow.
With the exact same number of slots too for skills. It is ridiculous. Also, Ty is right. If you just sell a whole bunch of your weapons that you're not going to use and you don't need, oh good lord, will you never need money again? I might have almost cracked 1 million just in the pocket, sitting at one point.
Wow.
I was knocking on the door at 1 million rupees. So, yeah. And bear in mind, when you're playing through adventure mode, you're getting about 5 to 7 weapons per map, depending on the map. Sometimes you'll get less, but still, you're getting a good number of weapons per map. After a while, you are just drowning in weapons. And that is just money sitting on the table for you to take. I think I'm almost 60% done with adventure mode, or the adventure map. The first map. I'm only missing 2 characters, which I think I can unlock Yuga right now. I just need to go back into the low roll map and do his map, and I can unlock Yuga. I need a specific item on the Phantom Hourglass map to get Toon Zelda. I just don't know what I need. Because, yeah, the maps are a bit different than the 3DS version. Because bear in mind, a lot of the adventure maps, they're pulling from the 3DS versions. Because even the standard maps for Wii U got changed over for 3DS. Because in the adventure map version, you get every other weapon and character in the game, pretty much. The rest of Link's weapons, Linkle's second weapon, Lana's third weapon, like Twilight Minda, I believe Young Link is even on that map as well. I think he's your first unlock on that map.
Oh wow.
Like, you get a shit ton of stuff if you go through that map. and it really fills out the roster in your weapon selections. Like by the time you're done with that, you're probably only missing a few characters at most. And those characters are right at the start of the other adventure maps besides Yuga and Toon Zelda. They're the only ones that require more than just clearing the first map or getting an item that's directly next to that first map and then re-clearing it in order to get that character. So you can complete the roster very quick in Definitive Edition, which is nice. So you have the whole plethora of characters to play with. You just now get the fun of going, all right, who do I have to play as? Oh, I have to play as this character? Oh, they're only level 15? Because I never play as them? Piss. There's that problem. But the good news is a lot of different maps will offer the ability to drop in 2 to 3 characters. So even if it's limited to one character, you can bring in a second and a third character on top of them. So you could just carry that character to victory and get their heart container and get the easy A rank. Like that has happened so many times, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have Linkle carry everyone to victory and get all their hearts. I'll take that. Honestly, getting Linkle's 4+ weapon was not that hard. The later maps are not hard difficulty-wise, to be honest. I don't know why they list that difficulty, because they're not that different from other maps. Granted, I was playing as a Linkle who was probably level appropriate for it, damage-wise, which is probably the major thing is you want proper damage going into some battles, otherwise you are kind of fucked. You're just going to be sitting there forever. But I really enjoyed it. I started checking out the last... I'm assuming it's the last pack of content from the expansion or the season pass for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Because they just released... It's what I assume it is because it fills out everything that it was supposed to give. So it's the last Rare Blade for the expansion pass, the last pack of quests, and I believe we're ending off content for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with the Torna story that's coming out in September, I want to say. But I was starting to check that out, and I was going to play more today, but waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go take a test that instead of taking me 5.5 hours, it only took me 2 hours-ish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But bear in mind, there is some stuff on that test that I just look at that and go, I don't know this. I don't remember this.
Yeah, but that is a massive difference in what you thought it would be.
Yeah. Granted, I heard people say it only took them 2 hours for this same kind of test, so... Meh. But I won't find out till next week, plus a few days maybe, if I pass it or not.
Could be worse.
Yeah. They had to check my glasses for a camera.
What?
Yes! I had to put my glasses down on the table so the guy could look over and go, yeah, there's no camera there. Not like I know if one was there, but I have to make sure. I had to have my palm scanned 5 different times to, I guess, make sure that there was nothing written on it.
Huh.
Yeah, they might take this testing a little too seriously, to be honest. Because I'm like, Jesus. Like, I believe the entire time I was taking the test, not only was I recorded via video, but audio as well. Like, they super want to make sure that you're not cheating, and I'm like, calm down, guys.
I swear that's one of those points where you want to ask them, am I taking a test or am I being monitored for government surveillance or something? Because holy Jesus.
Yeah, Yeah. And for those wondering, it was both hands. Not five times each. All together, both hands 5 times. And they also asked me if I wanted headphones or earmuffs, which, you know those earmuffs you would have at a shooting range?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have been wearing that the entire time I was taking the test, in case I, was disturbed by the utter silence outside of click, click, click of keyboards from other people taking other tests. That was the only sound I heard, besides the very, very quiet Windows ding when you backspace too far on something.
Ding!
Yep. I heard that because apparently the headphones audio was loud enough for me to hear it from it sitting on the desk away from me.
Holy crap.
Which made me wonder, how loud is that if I put that on? I don't want it to be that loud. Jesus. If I can hear it from here.
Seriously.
Honestly, I have not hopped into anything else besides what we've been doing on stream. It's been one of those couple of weeks where I'm just like, I've done nothing except play Hyrule Warriors way too much, goddamn much. Like, when I say I've beaten Legend Mode, I've beaten every single map in Legend Mode. So that is the entire main story. Sia's side story, which I think was a DLC originally for Wii U. I think, wasn't it a side story? Or wasn't that DLC?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Sia's side story, Linkle's side story, which, you want to know how Linkle's side story goes?
How?
She essentially finds out that Hyrule Castle is being sieged. Goes, I have this special magic compass from my grandmother, and I say I'm the hero, so I'm gonna grab my shit and go help. And then proceed to go get lost the entire time until she finally shows up at Hyrule Castle after Ganon's defeated. And Link and Zelda are off putting the Master Sword back, so it's just her and Impa to defend the castle from a bunch of random monsters that are still there.
Okay. For this, I'm gonna say, she has a compass. Doesn't mean she knows how to use said compass.
Doesn't mean said compass actually fucking works, by the way. This could be like Jack Sparrow's compass, where it doesn't actually point north. By the way, the compass is in fact magic, by the way. I'm not kidding I'm not joking when I say it's magic. It is in fact magic. Like, Linkle doesn't have a lot of story to her or character outside of, I'm someone who believes I am the hero of... I accidentally unplugged my amp. She believes she's the hero of whatever era this is, essentially. She believes she's the chosen hero because Compass and my name is Linkle, I guess. So I'm just gonna go help because I want to. And again, she gets lost because she is a poor directionless girl. But by God, will she kick your ass if otherwise?
So, essentially what I'm hearing is she is Meme Factory.
Yes. And I am not kidding on that directionless part. Her victory animation is all about her being directionless because she's like, hey, I did work. I'm going to follow this map to Hyrule Castle as she passes a sign that points in the opposite direction of where she's walking to Hyrule Castle.
Sounds right.
Yep. But I love this poor girl. I hope she shows up more. I love that they've modded her into Breath of the Wild. I'm just sad that I don't think they're going to give her, like, infinite crossbows. With, bear in mind, the ability to shoot giant bombs or smaller bombs.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing her crossbows can do as well, is shoot bombs. And they're also fire-based. They're fire crossbows. By default. Her 4+ weapon gives them light as well. But yeah, I adore Linkle. I also love that if you drain her strong attack meter, which is her just first person mode, just shoot the enemies to death with stupidly amazing suction on it too. Like her Y attack where she just starts raining arrows in front of her, that has suction. Suction! I can suck in enemies off camera behind me as I walk backwards towards them into the damage area.
Linkle is good girl.
She is ridiculously good girl. Ty is not kidding when he says that Linkle is really good. Like, I don't have young Link up to the point where he is busted as fuck, but I can only imagine how much more busted he is. Which, by the way, the ability to kind of drain your special meter to fill up your magic meter, you can do that while you're Fierce Deity Link.
Oh, gee.
You do not have to drop out of Fierce Deity in order to do that. You can do that while you're in Fierce Deity mode. I don't know if it drops any in the process, but you can do it. Because I did it. I'm just hoping to get into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, maybe grind out the rest of the rare blades and start chipping away at their affinity stuff. Mainly just to do something with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, since that's the only thing I want to do with the game outside of beat some of their super bosses, because I've beaten the game already. I'm on a new game plus file, mainly to get better rare blade drop rates. And if I'm looking for new content, I'm waiting for Torna's story. Oh, I did find out today that we, in fact, are getting a new Rider game for the Switch. Essentially, it will be another entry in the Climax Zero series called Climax. Climax Scramble Gyo. No other real information behind it besides it has a story mode and an arcade mode, and that's the short and long of it.
And it will something.
Yeah. And the Switch is region free, correct?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, we can import this, folks. Yay!
AKA, we can get a Japanese account. Already got one.
Oh, will we need a Japanese account to play it?
More than likely.
Piss.
At least to get it, anyhow. I don't necessarily know about play it, but at least to get it.
Well, I believe it's physical, so I would rather just get it and be like, that saves me the trouble of having to set up one, because I already had to do that shit for PS3, and I don't want to do that all over again.
Honestly,
Granted, setting
not
up
that
one
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, there's honestly nothing really else. So, shall we talk articles?
I guess we shall.
Well, first up, you know how we get all these talks of video game movies?
Yep.
Well, here's a fan film that is essentially a proof of concept that you can totally do an Uncharted movie and it works. Yeah, around about a 15-minute. Essentially, you could take it as like a cut out portion of a larger story in the Uncharted universe. And the best part, Nathan Fillion stars in this fan film, which, if you're wondering who that is, that's the voice of Nathan Drake. And as you can see, he looks like him too, because Nathan Drake was modeled off of him to start with. But yeah, around 15 minutes. It's really good. I encourage you all to give it a watch. We're not going to play it here because it's 15 minutes, and we're not going to sit and watch a fan film for 15 minutes.
Oh, but why not?
Yeah, they even do a quick little like homage to how the game is shown camera-wise, and a quick little action sequence, and I dig that. And it's not obtrusive or anything. It's just, hey, here's a quick little thing, and we're done. So I have to ask, would you want to see an Uncharted movie?
It depends. Because, I mean, you saying like that, that means that Hollywood has their hand in it, and that's a mixed bag of cats right there.
Well, like I said, this is a fan film that essentially talked Nathan Fillion into doing this, so if the mindset from this fan film can be applied to an actual film, I would be
Maybe.
excited for it.
Yeah. But it probably won't.
Yeah.
That's the point where I'm at. It's like, yeah, I doubt that would work like they want it to.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have
Yeah.
potential.
And the thing is, Nathan Fillion is an actor. So he legitimately can play Nathan Drake. Like, he's not a voice actor who's done Nathan's voice forever. No, he is an actor who's also done voice acting work. So I guess Uncharted works because it's from the same vein of thought as like the Indiana Jones films and other films like it.
Yeah.
So it's a far easier transition to this big screen than, I don't know, Detective Pikachu. It's gonna bring that up. Don't worry. I'll bring it up later too.
I feel like perhaps you should have reordered the direction these articles went.
Probably.
Because that would have been a good segue.
Oh well. We'll still talk about Pokemon something because Niantic decided to go and acquire a mobile and AR developer. Seismic Games, which they're the ones responsible for Marvel Strike Force. Which I've actually played Strike Force and I got bored with it in like 3 days. Also, it has way too many goddamn currencies. Like, Jesus Christ, why do mobile games need 5 million currencies to do shit with?
Because you have to have a currency for free to play, a currency for people that want to pay, and then you have to have a currency for your premium members that are already paying a membership but get different currency because reasons. And then if you really want to get ballsy, if you really want to get ballsy, you have a premium in-game currency that is bought by actual money.
Well, unfortunately, that's not how this is set up. There's one currency for money, and then 5 million free-to-play currency. Just each one is dedicated to their own specific thing within the game.
They missed their mark.
Yeah. I like the idea, but I don't care for the gameplay. It's kind of easy to break and just auto battle yourself to win. So
I feel like you're missing the point on these mobile games. They're not meant to be challenging. They're meant to make you do something. They're essentially, most mobile games are fidget spinners. like to put it just bluntly, they're most mobile games are that way.
Well, I have a mobile game that actually challenges me, and that's like Fire Emblem Heroes. Feels like, hey, this is a nice simple Fire Emblem game that I can pick up every now and again, do a couple maps, and be done.
Very true on that one. But, okay, name another.
Fate Grand Order?
There's not a point you can auto battle?
Nope, because there is no auto battle. you have to actually fight your way through the easier content. But when it gets to the harder content, you have to actually pay attention to your special gauges and your attack cards and actually plan out your moves.
Or pay to win.
The only thing you get for paying to win is better servants, and oh look, your drop rates are shit. So have fun with that, because like trying to get a character is just as likely as getting a whole bunch of 10th century equipment cards, because it's all one pull. So you want that fancy new character? Too bad. Here's a whole bunch of equipment shit that you probably don't give a shit about. Drown in that until you get the character you want. That's the only bad part of Fake Grand Order. It super wants you to spend money because the thing you want is buried under bullshit. But that's okay, I just play it for fun. And I enjoy it. Because I can go in, have some fun. Because they're right now doing a summer event where you're pretty much just renovating an island into your own little private, like pretty much your own private island. And you're just having fun dialogue with the characters up to that point. And it's nice. Yeah, Niantic acquiring another company is... Oh, look, they acquired another company. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
man,
gonna do anything?
that's that Pokemon Go dollars for you. And
That Pokemon...
okay, that's that coupled with the fact of Niantic, well, was before Pokemon was under Google for a bit there, so they kind of picked up on business practices from them.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
oh, you got ahead. Buy everyone.
That is the mindset of a lot of companies right now. Let's be
also, mouse. Sorry, had to say it. Sure, that was bugging someone. I forgot to turn off the capture cursor.
Aww. So, you remember No Man's Sky?
Ooh, boy.
Well, they've essentially relaunched the game with a massive update called No Man's Sky Next. And you know that thing it should have had at launch? Multiplayer?
I was going to say, you kind of got to narrow that down. Because, I mean, that could be multiplayer, gameplay.
Well, multiplayer, because now you can go exploring the galaxy with your 3 friends. You can actually build bases and essentially colonize a planet. You can essentially just go to a planet and go, this is mine now. And just plant your flag of like, this is my home base. Fuck you. You can even build a frigate or acquire a frigate so that you can have multiple ships now instead of just one. There are actual space battles now, like proper space battles. The planets are a little bit more diverse and actually look good. There's actually a third-person camera now for both character and ship, so now you can see what you look like.
I'm gonna put this out there. While they've finally started getting to the point where they're delivering on some of the promises they made, I still feel like the only way I'm gonna touch this game is if I get it for free.
Pretty much.
Like, it's
I
either
feel
gonna
that
have
same
to
way.
be a Twitch Prime or someone giving it away for me to be like, yeah, I'll pick it up. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, especially since the frigate missions. Apparently, if you're not all in on the console for these frigate missions and all hit the button at the relatively same time, it doesn't get tracked for everyone. And I've also seen someone fall through the floor of a frigate into the void, essentially, of the ship, and then fall out into space. And I've also seen someone have their save file deleted. Just straight up deleted.
I mean, I do have to say that I agree with the comment I see over here where about the dedication and support for the game seems to be impressive. My issue with that is the fact that it took us how long before that actually became a thing?
Let me look at No Man's Sky's release date. Oh, piss. That's longer than I thought it was. Try August of 2016.
That's about how long I thought it was. Because
I
I was
thought it was
honestly going to
last year.
spitball and say 2 years ago.
I thought it was last year. Oh no, it's in 2 years. Oh wow.
So we're just now getting the stuff that they said we would be able to expect out of the game at launch. Yeah. Yeah. That dedication and support that they're showing for this game is basically the same that I would show to, say, a dead fly. I mean, one of those, I'll get rid of it eventually. It can lay there as long as it's not in my way kind of deal. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. This, yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting this unless it's free because this seems like a good fuck around for a few hours every week or so. Like chip away at building that base, make it look really nice. Essentially, if you were into Minecraft, that like
But
you
more
log on,
space themed.
yes, log on, chip away at your base, make it look nice. Maybe go out explore a couple planets, pick up some stuff, and call it a day. So,
Yeah. I mean, I wish they didn't take as long as they did to get it to work. It is.
Yeah, this should have been the game at launch, to be honest. And I hate saying that because it seems to be a trend these days of this should not have been the game at launch.
Yeah.
6 months to a year plus later, oh look, this is the game we should have launched.
Or, you know, at least at launch been like, look, we did kind of set the bar too high, but we are going to give it to you. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. I honestly don't know what's the worst trend with the industry right now. Games getting announced way too fucking early and just be non-existent for years until they come out, or games coming out too early and taking a year or so plus in order to be a proper full game that they should have been to start with.
I feel like it honestly depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the second one that you stated there, it taken a while for it to become the game that it should be. That's not a horrible thing per se, because it then gives everyone somewhat of an open beta concept, and they can fix other issues as they're building it to the final product. The issue with that is get games like, and I know it's kind of unfair to say it, but you get games like Destiny, where you really have to pay to get what the game should have been.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes in. I'm not going to want to spend $60 to buy a game to then have to a year later pay 20 more bucks to get the game I was promised.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no. I would honestly, though, I kind of feel like that option would be the better. That way you're not announcing it way too early and just it dropping off of everyone's radar by the time it actually comes out.
Almost like Kingdom Hearts 3, except it did show up to play
Yeah.
when we finally got around to talking about when it was like when we got a release date.
The other one honestly feels like the worst decision. Like all the way around.
Yeah.
Because, okay, case in point, if Microsoft literally just left us with that teaser for the next Halo game and we got nothing until we get a release date, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Chances are we've got that teaser, more info is gonna quote unquote leak. I say that because, let's be honest, in this day and age, most of these bigger companies should know how to keep a lot of information under wraps. The stuff that gets leaked is the stuff they want leaked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just all there is to it. I feel like it would be a case of that where if they just left that big gap without any information, even though Halo's a bigger title, it would still be easy to forget about it. And that I feel like is worse for a game, because if hardly anyone remembers, you're not going to make sales. At least the other way, you're making sales and people know, okay, this might not be the full game now, but it's coming.
Yeah. Like, what was it? Octopath Traveler. You know, it started out just as a project name, but it slowly kept pushing more information out. It's sold out of its, I believe, second run of copies in Japan.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
It's already, I believe, doubled the sales of Bravely Default. And bear in mind, that's the same company. It's already doubled the sales of Bravely Default, and this is on the Switch instead of the 3DS.
But it's because of how they pushed it out. Because it's definitely not console numbers. The 3DS has been around so long that I would have to say it's still probably dwarfing the Switch and consoles. So it's not that, it has to be the marketing strategies. And like you said, the way they kept trickling out information about Octopath Traveler, they, even when they didn't have information, they could trickle out something in a demo. It's one of those, that constant, it's always there in the background, I think is what wound up selling it a lot.
Yeah. And also, I feel like that once more speaks to the power of the Switch as a place to put your games on. Because this still only, its second year?
Yeah.
And a kind of niche RPG title has made gangbuster sales.
A brand new one at that.
Yeah, a brand new niche RPG title with no major ties to any real major company besides Square Enix, kind of they are the ones publishing this, as it's more just the studio that did Bravely Default within Square Enix. Like, this isn't Kingdom Hearts on Switch. No, this is just, and it's definitely even art style wise, this is not a major title, but yet it's doing really well.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the factor of the Switch has hit a sweet spot for people. You're telling me this is a console that I can just take anywhere? Cool. I'll just buy whatever I want on it.
It's because the Switch has managed to do the one thing the 3DS could never do, and in that I'm also including the entirety of the Game Boy DS line before it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's tap into the mobile-esque side of it. Because, let's be honest, mobile gaming kind of just hit big and hit home kind of deal. Because you can do it anywhere. And that's where this kind of comes in handy. It's like, yeah, you could play anything, anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And it all looks good and wonderful. Even though I never take my Switch out of the dock. Except when I pack it up.
Even though people complain that the handheld mode is lower quality, it's like, duh!
It's lower quality, but it's not by that much. Like, I think, I
think most games wind up running at a cap 30 on 720p out of dock.
yeah,
Whereas in dock, they can at most reach 1080p 60.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was trying to remember. Digital Foundry took a look at Bayonetta 2 on like docked and undocked, and it wasn't that much of a drop undocked for Bayonetta 2, which was a port, or not a port. Oh yeah, that is a port.
Yeah. But I can see that honestly because the generation it was originally made for was the 720 30p.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, it going to the Switch, I could see either one of them being about the same. Because why do you need to make it in 1080p? Why do you need to make it 60 FPS? Quite frankly, a game like that 60 FPS might screw stuff up.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize it, but that does.
Mm-hmm.
When your inputs have half the reaction time, it's like, yeah, that screws with internal clocks way too much.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, the Switch has no need for a 60 FPS game. In all seriousness, Splatoon 2 might be the closest for that.
Yeah.
And that's simply because it's a shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
otherwise, the Switch doesn't have a need for 60.
Yeah. Like, only some genres really need that 60 FPS for their gameplay. Others don't. If it's a slower game, it doesn't need it. You don't need it.
I feel like Odyssey might benefit from it because it does feel so fluid.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, yeah. Not many of them need it. Because, I'll be honest, Breath of the Wild, I can't tell the quality difference. Docked and undocked. And that's coming from someone that's put quite a bit of time in both sides of it.
Never mind.
Trying to think of something else. ARMS. Really, you can't tell a difference.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, I can't speak much to it. Most of my playtime for Switch has been docked. I've only played a couple things undocked, and that was only like 20 minutes at best before I just docked it back, because it's like, I'm not really in the mood to play undocked. Because I don't really have a need to, play something undocked.
A lot of it with me was I would take it with me to work and play on lunch kind of deal.
Yeah, I understand that. I like to see
I was nowhere near the dock.
Yeah. Like, I've seen a couple people at the front desk of my dorm be playing their Switch while they're on duty. Like, I literally passed someone as they were playing Breath of the Wild, and I didn't even need to see the screen to know they were playing Breath of the Wild. I just heard it and went, "Oh, you're playing Breath of the Wild." Because I heard all of the Sheikah Slate sound effects, and I'm like, mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely understand that. Seeing, like, if you're sitting at the front desk of my dorm when you have nothing to do until someone calls you or someone comes down to be like, "Hey, I'm locked out. Can I get a key?" Like, my neighbor, well, former neighbor now, did the front desk in the early mornings, and yeah, those early morning shifts are a whole lot of nothing for a long stretches.
I can imagine.
Most of the time, it's just, "Hey, I locked myself out in the morning while I went to the bathroom." And it's just like, sign the paperwork, sign out the key, let them go, get their key, bring it back, make sure you got the key back, and that's the short and long of it. Sometimes it would also be getting a call from someone and, like, I remember this one time, somebody called the front desk from the girl's side, wanting the number of one of the on-duty officers. No particular reason why, she just wanted a number for one of them. And then she just hung up, and it's like, okay. Just sometimes stuff like that happens. But should we talk about Detective Pikachu and end off our talk about articles?
I guess we shall.
All right. So Universal will not be publishing the Detective Pikachu movie. Instead, it will be Warner Brothers. And that's it. Otherwise, this hasn't changed anything about the movie. It will still come out May of next year. I still can't believe we are like less than a year out from this movie. We will be seeing trailers for this, and more than likely before the end of the year. We will be seeing a trailer of Ryan goddamn Reynolds voicing goddamn Detective Pikachu and a goddamn movie before the end of the year, more than likely. I still can't believe this is the timeline I exist in. Like, I still can't believe that this movie is happening. I still can't, to this fucking day. And I still won't believe it until I sit down and watch it. And then I still won't believe that I watched it, regardless of the quality of it. Granted, I'm waiting for this to be so goddamn dramatic and ridiculous. I'll just laugh at it the entire time. But that's really it.
I just have to leave this picture here for a little bit.
Oh god, what picture is it?
It's the Pikachu one in that article.
Isn't that the picture you use for hosts?
I think that is part of that. I think it is, actually.
Yes, that is the picture you use for hosts. See, folks, my face when I'm just thinking about this is the face of Detective Pikachu here, of just like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. How the fuck is this happening? When did we get here? How?
I feel like this is... I'm still feeling like this is so stupid of an idea that it will work. Like, I don't get it. It has to be one of those things where someone thought this was a good idea. And someone else was like, well, you know, it's a dumb idea, but it's so dumb it might work. Let's try it.
Like, I'm gonna look this up. But I just had the thought of what's gonna happen when we have to sit down and say, by some fucking miracle, Detective Pikachu is the highest rated video game movie of all time. Because I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and you know what the score it's got to be?
What?
52%. That's Rampage from this year. The second best, Resident Evil Vendetta, which actually is one of the Resident Evil animated films, actually. Then the reboot Tomb Raider movie. Then I don't understand how this is number 4. Fucking Final Fantasy The Spirits Within. You remember that? Is that not Final Fantasy movie? That apparently is boring as fuck?
God.
Yeah, that's 45. Then the Angry Birds movie at 43. Then it's tied with the new Pokemon movie, I Choose You. And then Prince of Persia. And then the last Resident Evil movie. And then the first Resident Evil movie. And then the first Mortal Kombat movie. And then Advent Children. And then DOA. And then another Resident Evil movie. And then the first Silent Hills. And then Warcraft. And then the second of the original Tomb Raider movies. Then another Resident Evil movie. And another Resident Evil movie. And Need for Speed. And how the fuck is Need for Speed rated above Pokemon 3? I thought that was a good one.
Hmm.
But yeah, just, like, it's a low bar, mind you. But if it beats that bar, we gotta talk about that on the show. Of how this happened. Of how Detective Pikachu now is the number 1 highest rated video game movie, if that comes to pass. Like, has anyone thought about that? Because it's not like we have a dozen other Pokemon movies to talk about in relation to this. No, we do.
You know as well as I did that will wind up happening, or at least come so close that we'll still have to talk about it.
Yeah. Like, it's a year. It's less than a year away, and I'm just like, this happens. This happens. I will not believe. I will believe I'm in a fucking dream, because that is some probability bullshit. Anyway, shall we talk releases?
I guess we kind of have to, don't we?
Yeah, kind of out of articles, because there's not a whole lot to talk about. Kind of a slow period, because honestly, not a whole lot came out of San Diego Comic-Con. Like, Smash Ultimate was on the show, was on the floor for Comic-Con, but there was no new announcements related to it. The only real major things that come out of Comic-Con were just a bunch of TV and movie stuff, really. That's kind of it. And I don't think any real video game stuff came out of Comic-Con, which is surprising. No real video game stuff usually comes out of Comic-Con. All I'm going to say is, oh, Titans looks terrible. It looks terrible in the way that a lot of the DC Cineverse movies are apparently Worlds of DC, as it's called now, movies have looked. Where they are drenched in anger and hate and look at me, look at how dark I am. Look at how edgy and adult I am. Ew.
Look at how bad I am.
Yeah, but when the Titans trailer, the only memorable thing out of that fucking trailer is Dick Grayson Robin going fuck Batman. That is the only thing noteworthy out of that fucking trailer. Nothing else is noteworthy. Like, holy shit, have you gave the wrong opinion of this show already? Whereas Young Justice, that had a trailer that not only went, hey, here's a recap of the second season of the show that hasn't been on air in a few years. And here's a whole bunch of clips of season 3 to kind of give you an idea of where we're going. And I am far more excited for that because, I like Young Justice, which means I'm not going to be getting this officially. I am not paying $8 a month for one goddamn show. Fuck that bullshit. Even if a lot of DC's other cartoon stuff are on the service, I still don't want to pay $8 for that. $8 a month, mind you, for that stuff to maybe be on there. Because I'm not sure if they have a confirmed list of what's on there at the moment. So yeah, releases. And we're going to start things off on the 31st with #WarGames for Xbox One, 8 to Glory for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Castaway Paradise for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Forsaken Remastered for Xbox One, South Park The Fractured Butthole, Bring the Church for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, 1979 Revolution Black Friday for PlayStation 4, Morphine for PlayStation 4, Apex Construct for PlayStation 4, Chasm for PlayStation 4 and Vita, Pixel Ripped 1989 for PlayStation 4, Code of Princess EX for Switch, and Titan Quest for Switch. On the 1st of August, we have one more dungeon for Xbox One, in State of Anarchy, Masters of Mayhem for Xbox One and Switch. On the 2nd, we have Armored Warfare for Xbox One, and all of this, I assume, is on the eShop with 1979 Revolution Black Friday, Crush Your Enemies, Cycle 28, Ikimu Splinters of the Dark Shard, Flat Heroes, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2, Iconoclast, Johnny Turbo's Arcade Shootout, Kensho, Not a Hero Super Snazzy Edition, Road to Valhalla, and Salt and Sanctuary, all on Switch. Honestly, I think Iconoclast and Salt and Sanctuary are the big standouts there. Iconoclast especially.
Yeah.
Like, that game looks really good. I'm trying to remember what Salt and Sanctuary is. I feel like I've heard that name.
I don't think I have.
Looking at it on Steam at the moment. Sounds like I get a proper year in there so I can actually see it. Yeah, it's a Metroidvania. I don't remember who reviewed this that I watched their video of it. Might have been Super Bunny Hob talking about it. Yeah, Iconoclast is really good, folks. It's really good. I remember Ty streaming it a while back, and it looked really good. I just love that the main character, after the end of all this fucking bullshit she goes through, she just goes to bed and is like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to bed. Good night. I killed a literal god, and I'm going to bed. Alright. Picking up on the 3rd, we have 1979 Revolution Black Friday for Xbox One, Jump Gunners for Xbox One, Super Dungeon Tactics for Xbox One, Oxenfree for Switch, The Inner World for Switch, and WarioWare Gold for 3DS. I think Oxenfree is a side-scrolling kind of horror game, if I remember that right. It's a bit weird to say, but I believe that's what you would call Oxenfree, to be honest. And WarioWare, it's a WarioWare game, but you come for minigame nonsense at its finest. On the 6th, we've got Loot Monkey Blinged Palace for Switch. And on the 7th, we have Dead Cells for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Hyper Universe for Xbox One. Madden NFL 19 Hall of Fame Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4. Overcooked 2, Too Many Cooks for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Flipping Death for PlayStation 4, H1Z1 Battle Royale for PlayStation 4, Slamland for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Minecraft Story Mode Season 2 to Telltale Series for Switch, Slain, Back from Hell for Switch. And on the 9th, we have City of the Shroud for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom Adventure Pack for PlayStation 4, Megaton Rainfall for Switch, Minute for Switch, Okami HD for Switch, and Unexplored Unlocked Edition for Switch. Folks, I cannot understate how goddamn beautiful Okami HD looks, especially now that it is HDified. It is a gorgeous fucking game. It will probably be the most artistic, prettiest fucking game on the Switch. You should check that shit out. It is so goddamn beautiful. And bear in mind, that is a Platinum Games game from back in the day when they were Clover. It is really good combat-wise. And also, you get to play as a dog or as a wolf that is a god and just beats the shit out of people. Like, I can't understate how good Okami is. Okami is really good. Anyway, on the 10th, we finally have Madden NFL 19 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We Happy Few finally coming out for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and Rumbo Deluxe Edition for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Yay, We Happy Few finally comes out, and I'll see if it's good or not, and it can scratch that itch that Bioshock Infinite left. Because I really enjoyed Bioshock Infinite.
Oh boy.
So it's time.
Gonna be time for that.
Oh, time for quick draws and time for us to talk for a half hour on fighter-related thing.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the article I have listed it's not the article I'm pulling some of this information from because it's the more important article, I feel like, in terms of, oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Because, okay. Within the last week, we got the production team and our first story details for Zaya. Let me lay this out right now. This don't look good. Doesn't mean it can't be good. I'm saying right now, projections, probably not a good show. So, I'm going to first and foremost talk about the production team. So, we have our head writer, that is Kento Shimoyama. Now, if you're wondering who that is, know that he is not a regular writer. He mostly has written Sentai material. You know what the most prominent things of Sentai he has written? Well, first and foremost, the article lists it that I'm looking at as Ninja. He wrote the majority of Ninja, and he wrote it in a choose your own adventure, follow the plot line depending on how production goes style. Not the best for an overall story, and probably also not the best writing-wise.
Well, like I said when we were talking about it, and I think we were streaming when I might have touched on it. The whole choose your own adventure thing works if you've got the rest of the team knowing that going into it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't if you're the only one that knows.
Yes, and considering this is going to be an anniversary season that might be around 30 episodes, I think that rumor is still in play until it's confirmed otherwise. And it's possible we might get guest writers to write episodes for specific shows. Yeah, I don't think about that. But there's another important Sentai thing that not only this guy wrote, but the director, Ryuta Tazaki, and the producer, Shinichiro Shirakura, were all a part of. And you know what Sentai thing that was? Kyoryuger Brave. Now you're probably asking what the fuck Kyoryuger Brave was. Well, that was a made for Korea, I think, 12-episode miniseries that was an extension of Kyoryuger, but had nothing of Kyoryuger's quality in it. Essentially, it was hot fucking garbage. Hot fucking garbage that Toei actually filmed all of the suit action for. But it was still hot fucking garbage. And all three of these guys were on that show. Together. And the only Rider thing that this guy has written is the Go Rider special, which is meh. Meh. Because that was a tie-in to Cho Superhero Tyson, I believe. Yeah, it was Cho Superhero Tyson. Again, bleh. And he wrote a bunch of different Sentai films, of ranging from meh to not that good quality, and random episodes of Go Kaiger and Go Busters, and a couple episodes of Q Ranger. Again, primarily a Sentai writer, and this is his first major work on Rider. Ryuta Tazaki, nothing truly special about him. He's probably a fine enough director. I honestly don't remember his episodes, and I don't have that much to note about him. He's probably the least interesting of the three people in this conversation, even though Naomi Takabe is also on the producer credits. I think she's been set aside as she's probably the only decent person here in terms of talent. It's when we get to Shinichiro Shirakura that we have issues, because, just for notes, folks, he's the asshole behind the Hibiki staff change, which, for those who don't know, quick version, essentially he is responsible for throwing out the entirety of Hibiki's crew behind, or essentially producer, or director and writer, throwing them out, replacing them, and that's when Hibiki tanked in terms of quality. Even though that crew were the one who made the Hibiki solo film, and that's somehow good. Figure that one out. I have to feel like they just took that script and put their fucking names on it. Because there's no way in hell that works. He's also responsible for Kamen Rider Amazons, which is hot fucking garbage, and is a whole big, look at us, look at how dark and adult and edgy we are, Rider series. And he has been quoted recently by saying that Rider is too juvenile now. And he commissioned Amazons in order to give Rider its teeth back. So, once more, we are coming into an anniversary series that's supposed to be celebrating 20 years of Heisei Rider with a guy who doesn't like probably half the era. You can see where this is going. And then the kicker. The kicker. We got a spoiler from Be the One, the Kamen Rider Build movie. And it's an end credit scene that involves Jayo's appearance in there. And it essentially breaks down to Sento's fucking with the white Pandora panel and somehow gets transported to a world where the past Heisei Riders are essentially fighting their final villains. And then Jayo shows up and kicks everybody's ass with the Build Time Watch. Or Build Rider Watch. And essentially is, to quote the story synopsis, the evil future Demon King Zayo, that a girl from that future has come back into the past in order to essentially change that person's future from not becoming an asshole. Essentially, we are redoing Decade, folks. All over again. With just a hint of Deno.
Hold on. I just see yet another issue with Build Now.
Oh, what?
Okay. That means that not only do the Pandora panels, because I'm assuming the black and the white one are supposed to be essentially the same?
Nope, two different panels.
I mean in functional wise.
I think they work together to merge two worlds together into one. Is the implications from this week's episode.
Okay, then that might work with it then.
I assume this is their way of going, we're going to shove Build into the main universe that the rest of the Heisei Riders are in order for this crossover to work.
Except we've already kind of showed, thanks to Generations Final, that that can't work.
I'm wanting to say that this is a mandate from on high somewhere.
I'm just saying, we kind of have a movie that's preface was that, and it couldn't happen because, you know, kind of everyone be dead.
Yes. When I'm talking about these villains, I am talking about some of the major villains, and you see in the scans, one of those prominent people is goddamn Lord Baron. Why is Lord Baron back? Fuck if I know. Who cares? He's dead. Fucking the great Gammizer.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, I go back to what I was saying then. That still poses a problem because that tells me that the White Pandora panel not only can hop dimensions, which was what I was going to be fine with, because, you know, dimension hopping with the White Pandora panel, basically mass teleportation with the Black Pandora panel. Yeah, I could see them working together to merge two worlds. That would make perfect sense and be fine. Because if we're going with off the wall crap that these Pandora panels can do, I could see those two working together. But no, that also means the White Pandora panel also can time travel. Excuse me? Where does that work?
Fuck if I know. And I again am under the assumption that this is where we're going with Zio or Gio or however you want to call it. I will call it whatever it gets called in the show for however long I watch the goddamn show. But yeah, literally Gio shows up, mops the floor with every rider, and then Sento gets sent back, I guess with no memory of this happening, because it goes, I'm under the assumption that this scene happens in the middle of today's episode, because Sento only just got the White Pandora panel at the beginning of the episode, but we do see him mucking with it in the middle of the episode when he gives Grease the Blizzard Knuckle, so I assume it happens before he gives Grease the Blizzard Knuckle.
I have to ask, do we know if Sento got the White Pandora panel in the movie? Because remember, there is that miscontinuity with Sparkling.
No. All I know is he's messing with it in the end credit scene. I don't know if he got it in the middle of the movie or not. I don't have any more spoilers for the movie. Besides the end credit scene.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which
like,
for those one
that's a problem because I'm sure you were fixing to say this, but Sparkling effectively was made sometime during Generations Final, even though there was an episode dedicated in build to making Sparkling.
Gotta love that Fast and Loose continuity with the movies. Gotta love it. How the fuck is it that Double gets all of its continuity right with its fucking movies, but no other goddamn show can get it right?
You know, though, depending on how shoehorned this ending actually became, like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they planned this. Mm-hmm. They obviously didn't plan this, but we'll just give them the benefit of the doubt here. If they knew they were gonna merge two worlds together to kill Evolt, then could it be possible that the build world we saw in Generations Final wasn't the same one we're seeing now?
Well, I don't know.
Like, could that be possible? We didn't really get much other references.
I say that, but today's episode literally used the animation of Build's world colliding with the proper main world from Generations Final. Literally, frame for frame, the exact same scene. In reference to worlds combining together, so they may or may not have referenced SE Generation Finals in the process. I don't know. I'm going to wait for subs on that one.
Oh, if they did, then that causes problems.
Welcome to Fast and Loose Continuity. The only way Toei knows how to write their fucking movies in relation to their shows because no one thinks this shit ahead. No one.
Because, I mean, I know originally we were kind of dissing on Generations Final because of that fact there, but in light of this part, if they knew that was the end game anyhow, then I could see that being the excuse for it.
Maybe.
I feel like saying they knew this was the end game is like stretching it around the world and back.
Yeah.
Because, oh dear God, this ending is so shoehorned.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt for that purpose right there.
Like, I'm just annoyed by this because we're retreading Decades Waters. We're retreading Decades route, which was the last thing I wanted Zio to do to start with. I wanted Zio to be its own thing, not connected to Decade. Just learn lessons from Decade, and by extension, Go Kaiser, and do your own thing. Don't retread Waters with Decade. For the love of God, don't do that. Don't do it again. Especially when you have twice as much content to cover in the exact same amount of episodes. Assumingly. Like, you're asking for trouble at that rate. Just do your own thing. Do your own thing, please. And it's like, no, we gotta retread that Decade Water again. And it's like, ugh. And they're gonna do it poorly, too.
The only thing I can think of is maybe they do it in a different fashion, so to say. And no, I see exactly what they're gonna do. Never mind.
Let me guess. The twist. The Zio, Gio, in the future is in fact not the same person!
No. No, remember that one annoying, like super annoying thing that we had with Decade? Of,
Which
you know, alternate worlds.
Okay, there's apparently the villains of the series are called Another Riders. And I look at that and I go, if you go the route where I think you're going, especially considering who's in charge of this show, fuck you already, by the way. Just fuck you already. Because I know what you're gonna do.
Well, what I was gonna get at, remember the end of, well, towards the end of Decade, the big battle with all the alternate riders?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if that's what Build stumbled into?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Why?
I
Again,
was fixing to say I might could give them the benefit of the doubt if this was supposed to be symbolic, like how Gaim's foreshadowing at the beginning was. Where it wasn't technically the same, but it showed where the show was going. I would be fine with something like that. But as I was starting to say it, it's like, no, this is exactly like how Decade did. Like,
yeah.
that is exactly how this is feeling.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yep, that's why I hate it so much, because I feel like it's going to make all the same mistakes. It's literally going to make all the same mistakes. Because no one's going to learn from Decade on this one.
It's one of those I want to watch it to see if we're wrong, and I'm hoping we're wrong. But I feel like we're right.
I'll put it this way. We're not the only ones worried about the show. A lot of people I've seen are worried about the show because of this. Granted, more people are willing to give it a chance and go, oh, maybe they are better this time. And I personally go, okay, are we really going to do this song and dance again? We did the song and dance with the fucking superhero Tyson films for several years in a row, and they were all hot garbage. And they were all done by the same people. Just...
But maybe if I hit my head against a brick wall for the 4th time, it'll be fine.
My only hope at this point is that either by some fucking miracle this show turns out good. I don't know how, but by some miracle it does. Or this is so laughably goddamn bad, I can at least laugh at the stupidity of this fucking show and enjoy it that way. But I know goddamn well, considering how Decade went, that as fucking soon as anybody from Double through X8 in Build get a tribute episode and they are horribly misrepresented, I'm fucking done. That episode. Automatically. Because I only need one episode like that to piss me right the fuck off and be done. Because I'm not going to stand there and watch the rest of them get dragged down. And then, you know what the double one would be that I would absolutely hate? If they somehow prop up Skull as the better writer over Double, and I'm like, that's not how this relationship worked. That is not how those characters work. Fuck off. Or somehow they make Shotaro seem incompetent as shit, and I'm like, no, he wasn't.
Not at any point.
No. No. But like,
I feel like, depending on how the first few episodes go, that's gonna kind of show us the show.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if some stupid thing like this is going on, we might be able to see it from the first episode. And I'm kind of hoping that we can at least be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I'm not at the it's gonna be good. Because I think it's done showing too many signs of it's gonna be Decade 2.0.
Yep.
And it's like, if this is going to be how we're going to do 10-year anniversaries, let's just quit.
Let's just not do them anymore, please. And if so, get someone fucking different. Get this asshole off of this shit. If he doesn't want to do the show that actually appreciates the entirety of this franchise, fuck him. Get someone else on this show. If you can't get a writer who's willing to write an overall story and instead of just goes, well, we're just going to make up this shit as we go, fuck that. Get someone else.
Like, is it honestly bad that I kind of feel like we're going to... Because this show seems like it's so screwed up that we're going to at some point have Decade just kind of palling around.
Yeah, I would say that, but the only thing is Tsukasa himself may not show up because he's busy filming a Garo show at the moment. So I don't know if he's going to be able to even make it to this anniversary.
I'm just saying, because it seems like everything he steps into winds up being just, yeah.
Oh god, if Tsukasa actually shows up in the first fucking episode, I'm going to be like, no, you could have avoided this. No, why were you? Go back to Garo.
Oh.
Go back to the fucking Garo and stay away.
Like, if he's not, then this might be the one show that shows us the problem is the decade suit, not who's in the suit.
Well, no, that's already confirmed because only the Decade suit showed up in Superhero Tyson Z.
So then there's where our problem is.
Because I believe Decade was voiced by Hiromu in that one. Very, very terribly, mind you.
So there's our problem then. It's the suit. The suit is cursed. Because we know there's a Decade form, so I would have to think that also means at some point we're interacting with Decade.
Yeah, well, it's not just a Decade form. It's a Decade is special among all of the Heisei riders because he allows for upgrades through the rest of the time launches.
So
Because him plus build gives Sayo or Gate sparkling form instead of base Rabbit Tank.
oh god.
Yeah, that's straight up confirmed. We got cleaner scans, and yeah, that is sparkling.
Oh god.
Yeah, so the Decade one is special, meaning we have to have an entire episode dedicated to it.
Wait, we got scans of the build sparkling armor form?
Cleaner scans of the toy catalog that allow a better look at it.
Does it have the? Does it still have bottles, or does it have the cans?
I believe it has the bottles, but it has
Aww.
the white lightning like the sparkling form has.
They missed the mark. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Have humongous cans on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Although that probably would just kill budget.
Yep.
Either that, or they'd have to make them hollow, and then every time they took a hit, you'd just see them just deform.
Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time something happened. Fucking one of Gaim's flags broke mid-fight in the final episode.
Yeah, I remember.
And they just rolled with it.
That, although, I can't blame them. Like, that honestly kind of made it look more epic than the fight already was.
Yeah. And we didn't even get a broken helmet in that one. And that usually is the denoter of, oh, this shit got real. Somebody's helmet got broke. We can see the actor in the suit for once. Even though that actor's never really in the suit most of the time, if ever.
But yeah, that was one of those where I'm like, that honestly makes it look cool.
Mm. For those wondering, these were a part of the monthly scans, but like there's nothing else new. The only build stuff is, oh, by the way, it's the final battle. Here's Grease 4 before it debuted this week, and Sento and Ryuga are fighting Evolt again. And Rouge is getting a new form and a hyper battle video. And like that's it. That is literally it. Everything else has been covered in the toy catalog scans. Although
also, I'm hoping that the wording of the spoiler fits with the episode kind of deal. Because I would think if he obtained it in the movie, they would probably have had to have made a point about that too. Kind of deal.
All I know is we start the show and Sento goes, I'm going to shove the hazard trigger in Pandora's box, and boop, there's the white Pandora panel.
But that's actually what's odd. Wasn't the movie supposed to take place between these last two episodes?
Yes.
So if that's the case and the white Pandora panel exists now, that means part of this week's episode maybe was before / in the middle of the movie?
Entirely possible. Like I said, I have no more spoilers for Be the One besides the end credit scene. We have to wait till next week in order to get full spoilers for Be the One. which I assume include how the fuck Ryuga is a bad guy and why he's a bad guy for most of the movie, and why he's just back to being friends with everybody in this episode, and also how the fuck does cross build come to be. Also, I saw it in tweets about the scans, but Gates kept being referred to as he, so I guess it's deconfirmed now that Gates is the girl traveling from the past. Gates is someone else. Which, yay. Oh well.
But, huh?
Yes, there's a second person that comes back from the past and teams up with Zio to do shit because they're not actually outright antagonistic according to the scans for some stupid reason. Which just makes me go, okay, if this is a different character, why the fuck isn't it the girl? Granted, nothing explicitly states one way or the other. It's just, ugh. I can't believe we have to wait another fucking week to get any more confirmation on Sayo. Because at this point, I'm just like, this needs a fucking miracle for me to care. Like, I will sit down and watch the opening episodes, but you're gonna have to work hard for me to care, because you are already on the back foot as far as I'm concerned. But anything else before we move on to your quick draw?
No. I guess not.
All right.
Besides, I've got to, do my thing in the background here because I didn't have it set up. Woohoo! New things that I don't have prepared for yet. Because reasons. But yeah, mine's pretty much going to be just a quick rundown of what's going to be coming over the next week. AKA SCG. Because I've been abbreviating it. But tomorrow it's going to start off with basically a kind of explanation of everything with the event for those that don't catch it here. As well as a rundown of what's going to be coming on through the week. Then I'm going to move into a easy open randomizer of Link to the Past. I got to thinking about it. This effectively kills our MMO Mondays this week.
Pretty much.
So, if you felt up to joining on any of these days, then let me know. But anyhow, Monday I'll be doing... I did kind of shuffle everything around. The Link to the Past one I had on Monday, I moved down to Wednesday because of kind of my work schedule and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think OBS is fixing to die. I'm kind of waiting to see. Like, bitrate tanked. And I think it was the internet because, yeah, I noticed Discord was going down too. There we go. But yeah, I moved the Link to the Past one down to Wednesday because of my work schedule. So Monday instead I'll be doing the Wind Waker Lunacy. Oh dear God, I feel like that's a bad decision. With Tuesday winding up being the Dungeons and Mail Wind Waker randomizer. Then I get more Key Sanity fun because Wednesday I'm doing Link to the Past Key Sanity. Followed by Thursday's Retro Randomizer you and me are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And topping it all off with a Random Entrances Wind Waker one on Friday. Now, I did hear the other day, I believe I posted in Discord. I can't remember if I tweeted it also, but I did add these stretch goals because each day getting new followers is going to add a different thing. Case in point, the one tomorrow, if we get 5 new followers during that stream, then I'll add a day in which I'll do a Link to the Past randomizer bingo. I've never done one of them. I have no idea how challenging that'll be, but we'll find out. Mondays, I'm gonna make a little kind of program to shuffle the different things that I'm willing to do for all of these events going forward, kind of deal. And 5 new followers there will be a choice from that. It could be literally any kind of bingo for any game that I have, or any kind of variation of randomizer. Tuesdays, the 5 new followers will add a dedicated Breath of the Wild bingo day. Now, any of these bingo ones, if they're not too long, I might try to fit 2 in. Since I don't know, I didn't want to kind of squeeze it in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But that does kind of bring me into Wednesdays, which is a Odyssey bingo for 5 new followers. That one more than likely will be 2 bingos, if that one gets added. Because I know with Odyssey at least an hour and a half is going to be a bingo, and that's going to be really short kind of deal. Like, we'll play that one by ear when it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I might do a long bingo instead of a normal bingo, and that might make it longer for it kind of deal. But that one's going to definitely be a play by ear. Thursday, during our co-op one, and I hope you're fine with this, but 5 new followers will add a Key Sanity co-op.
Yay!
For Link to the Past. It will not be during that stream, it will be an additional day. I am not crazy enough to try to do that right then. And Fridays will be probably the worst one. Like, if you've got that pulled up, you see exactly why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
But that will add a Dungeons plus Random Entrances plus Key Lunacy Wind Waker run. I've messed around with the Random Entrances one. A lot of times it's not horrible, but it can be. And then I have a funny feeling Key Lunacy and Key Sanity, those 2 are going to be annoying. Like, I don't know why, but I'm feeling like those 2 are going to be the annoying too. But yeah, that's pretty much the rundown for the entire week there. I I do. I know I stated here, I think when we did the Wind Waker one, that I had all the ROMs made. I realized I think it was yesterday, I realized I've got to redo the Link to the Past ones. I didn't do custom characters.
Well,
It should just be replugging in the seeds and redoing it, but yeah. But yeah, so that pretty much takes care of it on mine, because that will be going on throughout the entire next week. And for those wondering, if I'm thinking about if it goes on longer, like if the days have to keep getting added, Saturday might be skipped just so that we kind of have something non-randomizer kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I know originally I said Rampant Gaming might get pulled if additional days get added, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think at the least that's going to be a thing. As to what we're doing, I have no idea. But yeah. So you got any comments on all that fun?
not particularly.
Just be glad that I didn't try to get you in to doing a co-op Wind Waker one.
Yeah.
Because yeah. But I guess that will take care of it on mine then. And I do actually have one more thing. I just happened to think about it. If anyone would like to join on the Link to the Past ones and turn any of them into co-ops, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I'll be open to it. It's one of those, mainly the Key Sanity one is going to be one of those I'm like, yeah, having more than one person would be very helpful. Now, I'm not 100% on, even if we do a co-op, if I'm going to have everyone in voice kind of deal. Like you and me definitely when we do that one, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Because as you and me have pointed out, that might not necessarily always be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's about time for us to call it, I would think.
Yeah, the only thing I want to mention is the best moment ever happened in Lupin Ranger Pataranger today with the freaking multi-mech combo VSX. So, originally, it's supposed to be X, Lupin Red, and Pataranger Red in one cockpit area. Guess what happens?
What?
The two Reds start arguing, Pattern and Red starts being an asshole, and then Goody decides, fuck this, we have better shit to do, and then swaps him out for Pattern Pink. Pretty much puts Pattern Red in the goddamn timeout corner because he can't be a cooperative person with the thieves, unlike everyone else on the team. And I love it. I love that it's like, alright, I ain't taking any of your shit, son. Go in the corner, go hang out with your buddy, and calm the fuck down. We have better shit to do, like blowing up the monster with our CGI mess this week. Because the fight's all CGI, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Which makes me go, they don't have a practical suit for this, do they? Oh, no, they don't. because I don't think there's a single practical shot in the entire fight sequence, and I'm like, ooh, we're not going to see this form that often, are we? That might be a good thing because it kind of doesn't look the best. But yeah, but otherwise, Lupin Ranger Petarager's good. At least I'll have it as fucking Gio self-destructs off the bat. Yeah, that's all I had.
Well, then I guess we'll be back in 2 weeks with more probably Detective Pikachu talk.
I swear to God, we have to talk about Pikachu again. I'm banning it from the show.
It's not quite at Mass Effect 3 levels yet. Yet. Hey, I mean, not much is actually gonna be able to beat that one out.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to straight up ban it because it was getting ridiculous. But yeah. But yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks with more gaming news stuff, and I don't think we've got to go through the next week because I kind of just did that, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess I will see everyone tomorrow, and we will see you all in the next one.